Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be doing my film review for Thor Ragnarok, which I just saw a little while ago with my friends. We saw an advanced screening. Oh, so great. So great. This was such a good movie overall. Before I start gushing on, and I keep going on and on about it, of course, please be warned that this is a spoiler-filled film review for Thor Ragnarok. Again, if if you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok yet, do not keep watching or listening to this video, as I will be going into giant spoiler details. So, you have been warned. That being said, this was by far my favorite Thor solo outing. You know, I liked his first two films just fine, but this was the first Thor movie, the first solo Thor movie that made me want to rewatch it again because of how much I enjoyed it. You know, it had humor, it had action, it had an interesting story, it had great characters, awesome characters. Everybody was so good. Even characters we've known and loved for years were great. Everybody had their moment to shine, and it was really special. You know, I gotta say, I think what I enjoyed a lot about it was that because I enjoyed the fight between Hulk and Thor so much in the Avengers. What I really enjoyed, I felt like the gladiator fight between Hulk and Thor in this movie topped that. It was like 5 times better than the Avengers fight, and it was just so much more enjoyable to watch. And then it's just, you know, it was immensely satisfying. That whole fight scene between him and Hulk fighting each other was very satisfying and very exciting. You know, I had a big stupid grin on my face the whole time. The whole theater was laughing and applauding, and you know, it was just also a very funny movie overall. Very funny movie. And Chris Hemsworth, man, God, he's gotten funny over the past couple years. I mean, this I think was probably one of his funniest performances I've seen of him, and this was just this is really something. And you know what else I liked about this movie is that Thor learned from his mistakes. You know, he learned that no matter how many times he tries to team up with Loki to work with him for the greater good, Loki will always betray him, and this time he was ready for it. That was cool. I also enjoyed seeing like the banter between Hulk and Thor, and then between Thor and Banner as well. That was very enjoyable. I really liked that. I also liked how you know, it lived up to the title. Ragnarok implies the end and destruction of Asgard, and I think this movie did a pretty damn good job doing that. And I think killing the two Thor's two friends right away with Hela appearing, and then they pull their swords on her, and she kills them both right away. And then Krug there comically is kneeling with a mop in his hand, I think. You know, what I liked about that is like, oh, they killed a couple of secondary supporting characters to demonstrate, to show that, you know, Hela means business, and she means to destroy Asgard indeed, and that's exactly what she's doing. You know, what I also liked about this movie is that it answered questions like, where was Odin this whole time? Apparently he was in Norway all along. Well, actually, not entirely in Norway. He was in this Shady Acres retirement home for a while. That was pretty funny. Oh, God, and it was so funny when Anthony Hopkins was very good in this film as well, despite his brief role. But he, you know, he in the opening scene when Thor returns from destroying Sutor, and it's clearly Loki disguised as Odin, but it's Anthony Hopkins who's like, "Oh shit!" You know, that made me laugh pretty hard. That was pretty funny, just seeing Anthony Hopkins react that way. He's like, "Oh shit," or something like that. So I enjoyed that. Oh, there's just so much happening in this movie. It was very fast paced, but it kept the story moving. It kept the movie going, and like I said, everybody did a great job. Jeff Goldblum made me chuckle more than once. He was a very cool character. And you know, like I said, I think this was like definitely the one Thor movie that I would rewatch a couple more times because I enjoyed it that much. You know, it was just so well done, and I feel like, you know, this was a good. I don't want to say a conclusion to the Thor story because I don't think Thor's story is quite yet finished. But I think it was a good story for wrapping up things on Asgard, because Asgard is gone now. Odin is dead. Scourge is dead. Hela is dead. Even the giant wolf is dead. So now it's about just finding a new home for the remaining Asgardians, and I think there's a potential, great potential, and cool, interesting storytelling to tell there. But God, this movie was fun. I just enjoyed it very much. I mean, I was laughing a lot. I had a big stupid grin on my face, and I also loved. One of the reasons why I was smiling is because we saw Thor at his most powerful. I mean, his eyes, or his eye, I should say, lit up as if he was full of lightning. And he was doing this twirling, spinning shit as he was taking down the undead army and soldiers. That was pretty awesome. Great fight scenes, excellent fight scenes between him and Hela, between him and her undead army. I've loved watching Hulk fight the wolf. Oh, you know what else this movie did? It broke the rules a few times, by which I mean it wasn't your standard, at least from my point of view, it wasn't your standard Hollywood superhero film, because it's like things happened that you were expecting to happen, and then sometimes they didn't happen right away. Like, perfect example, when the wolf is chasing everybody down the bridge and Heimdall is telling everyone to get back, and Valkyrie can't hit him with the gun, Banner decides to turn into the Hulk once again, and he's like, "You're about to know me, like, you're about to recognize me." And we assume as soon as he jumps out of the ship, once he lands, he'll land directly in front of the wolf and roar, and it'll be a big epic moment. But instead, he falls, lands right on his face in front of the wolf, and the wolf kind of sniffs around him, growls, and then walks over him, and Banner's just groaning. And you're like, oh my God, because that was not at all what you were expecting. We all thought, as soon as he jumps out of the ship, he's going to do a superhero landing as the Hulk. But instead, he falls out flat on his face. This movie was full of so many great moments like that. It was so damn funny. Like the story that Thor was telling Valkyrie and Banner when Loki was tied up, about the story of how Loki turned into a snake, and when Thor went to go pick him up as a little kid, his face appeared and scared the hell out of Thor. Oh God, that was funny. So much humor in this movie. I love it. Marvel movies are known and for their humor, and they do humor well, but this movie was especially funny. And I don't think it was necessarily meant as a comedy. I think it was more meant as a cosmic space adventure type film, which I felt like it was. But it had so much comedy in it. It was so damn funny. I mean, this was a great, funny superhero movie. This might be one of the funniest superhero movies out there, with the exception of the two Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But this one was very funny. I mean, I just enjoyed it. It just put a big smile on my face the whole time. Oh, it's a great way to start off the end of the year. We've got this movie, we've got Justice League, we've got Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, these big title blockbuster hit films to finish off the year with. And I think it's going to be fun. And this was Thor Ragnarok was a great way to kick it all off. I mean, this was just so damn fun. One final thought I had. I thought it was what I did like about Scourge's story is that he wasn't necessarily an evil guy. He was going along with Hela, but you could see the reluctance on his face and the whole what did I get myself into look on his face. And you could tell he didn't want to execute that woman, but he was willing to and ready to. But I liked the fact how he was just a guy who was kind of struggling to fit in, or at least struggling for acceptance and recognition, where he'd be taken seriously. And he was able to do that in his final moments when he sacrificed for himself for his fellow Asgardians. And I thought that was a nice send-off, a nice touch. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed him. I thought he was a cool character too. He was very funny. And that's what was so great as well, is that not only were Hulk and Thor scene stealers, but everybody got to be funny in this movie at one point or another. Whether it was throughout the whole thing or just one scene, everybody got to be funny, and I really enjoyed that. Well, guys, that is my film review for Thor Ragnarok. If you haven't seen it, but you watched this video review for some reason, I highly recommend it. I recommend seeing it at least twice because I want to see it one more time because I feel like there's some scenes where some of the dialogue that was being spoken super fast and it was hard to understand. So I may want to see this movie again. Thor Ragnarok is in theaters. It opens this weekend. Go see it. It's a lot of fun. Oh, and of course, stick around after the credits. There's two post-credit scenes. One's very juicy and promising. The other one is very funny. Stick around for those. You don't want to miss those. Thank you so much for watching this film review video. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. So what did you guys think of Thor Ragnarok? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was there things that surprised you? Things that didn't surprise you? Please leave your thoughts and opinions and your feedback down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from everybody. You could disagree with one another, of course. We all have the right to our own opinions. Just please keep it civil and be respectful. Have a great rest of the night, guys. Have a great weekend if I don't see you. And of course, until next time, may the force be with you.